Just waiting for the timer to kick in. There we go. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Kenya of 40 Entrepreneur Drive. I'm not usually I need to turn this down. I can hear myself. Um I I'm tongue tied now. How is everybody tonight? I'm really not expecting anybody to come in the live stream because I'm not normally a live streamer. I haven't even been uploading regularly, but we'll see. Now that I say I'm not gonna do YouTube, I'm making more recently. But in either case, hello to everybody that does pop into the chat room. I'm not really gonna look at the chat room at the moment because I got my handy dandy phone again with some notes that I took about reflections on quitting my business. And before I get off of here, I will acknowledge the people who have joined the room. So thank you in advance for people who are coming in just to say hello. Okay, I'm gonna change the screen there because I love how that bright light pops in on me. I will put OBS down in the corner just so I can make sure I'm not what do you call it? Like what did I just do? I want to make sure I'm not buffering or anything. So I'll put that low down here. And then I'll leave that nice bright light on. Okay, so anyways, hello again, everybody. This is Kenya, 40 Entrepreneur Drive. Just coming on here, kind of impromptu. It seems like when I plan something, there's this pressure for me to have it a certain way. And then sometimes if you just come on here, it just comes out more natural. And so that's what I'm doing now. I actually was in my first live stream watching a live stream for the first time in a really long time. It's somebody who I've actually been subscribed to for a while, and I've checked out some of his videos, but I had never been in his live stream. And it's Scully's House of Thrillers. He's an author who actually reads his own work on his channel, and I thought that was pretty cool because I like people who are like into traditional content creating, like authors and songwriters and things like that. And although I'm not a published author, I've got some half finished stories in some notebooks somewhere around here. So when I met him in one of the networks a while back, I thought, hey, I've definitely got to hook up with this guy. And so he's been on my list forever, but I've never really got the chance to watch him because I had so many people in that network. I've talked to you guys about that before. Networking is something that I don't find fulfilling, and something that makes me feel stressed out. Um, we don't S for S, but it's still S for S, and it's a lot of pressure. So, anyways, he's one of the few people that I still have on my list. Yes, the list has been purged because I couldn't handle it. And I'm glad that I was able to catch up with him tonight. And I guess, I don't know, just being in there casual without any expectation, it made me feel, I don't know, inspired. So here I am on the live stream again. And I want to talk about reflecting on reflecting on quitting. Quitting is okay. Quitting can be a good thing. Quitting is all right. And quitting is sometimes a necessary evil, and sometimes quitting is not an evil. Let me pop back over here to make sure it's still going. Okay, it's still going. Um, Good. So I'm just talking to myself as I usually do, which makes me feel comfortable. Okay, so I said I talked about why I wanted to quit my business before. It's in the other video, but now I'm just kind of here to reflect like, okay, this is like 24 or 48 hours later, so it's not like I've had a whole lot of time to reflect, but it's enough. Because sometimes when you do something, you either have like that morning after regret or buyer's remorse, or, just kind of delayed reaction of what was I thinking? Why did I do that thing? But I'm not feeling any of that right now. I'm feeling quite positive, quite confident in my decision. And yeah, I'm feeling all right that the online businesses are shut down. eBay is still going strong. As a matter of fact, I got one of my biggest sales, one of, not the biggest, but I got one of my biggest sales just yesterday. I say yesterday because I would say today, but it's already 1:30 in the morning. So I got my big one of my biggest sales yesterday. Show you real quick. Sold. Let me make sure I can see. Put that OBS back up. Sold. Oh. So you're like, what the heck is that? Those are Christmas puppet stocking stuffer. Don't really know what you would call them, but they're vintage dolls that they're like plushy animal plush dolls that you actually can use and stuff for stocking stuffers and reuse them year after year and hang them up like Christmas stockings. And those I sold for $75 for the pair. So yay! It's my only. Is it my only sale this week? No, it's my first sale of the week. It's my first sale of the week, and yeah, it's a good start. So I say that to say eBay is still gonna be around. eBay is going to be around if nothing else is going to be around because it's something I can do um, without a whole lot of investing of time or money. Like I said in the previous video, I actually turned off my eBay store subscription. So even though I don't get a lot of the perks anymore, I don't have to pay for my stuff to be up there anymore. Okay, let's see. I want to make sure I stay on task. Sometimes my thoughts can go on tangents. All right. Some of the things that have remained the same since uh, shutting down the businesses. Actually, my desire to produce content, YouTube, even though I said I'm considering quitting, my desire to produce some kind of content is still pretty strong. And so I'm still very much interested in doing the voiceovers and doing something with drama, even if I have to join like um, a local community theater or something, just to kind of have that outlet. I might do that. I'm always balancing time because of my heavy mandatory work schedule, but I I'm gonna consider having some type of creative outlet other than YouTube, which is fun. It might just be YouTube. Heck, maybe this will be my community theater. Maybe I'll come on here and just do some skits or something. But that has remained the same. The desire to produce some type of content and do something creative is still there. Business and being a business owner per se, it hasn't completely disappeared, but it's I still want to work for myself. That has stayed the same. The desire to work for myself is pretty much the same. I just don't know if I'll be able to do it in the capacity of like a retail person. Like some people can sell and some people can't sell. So that's that. My desire to connect with people and help them in some kind of way, that is pretty much the same. I still like the aspect of like volunteering and being helpful in the community in some kind of way. I wish I had a lot of skills where I could make like a lot of how-to videos or life hacks types of videos. I would really love to be able to do that, but I don't have that many skills to share. I don't know. Maybe I could brainstorm. But I like producing that type of content, something that's helpful. Like I feel like I have an entertaining type of personality, but I don't think I'm an entertainer to be able to like come on here and that's my thing. I just want to kind of be on here and just be helpful. So that hasn't changed since shutting down the business. The desire to go to Japan is still there. I still want to go to Japan. I think I've changed my feelings, the level of passion about it. Like I don't feel like I'm a weeaboo. Is it weeaboo or weeabo? I don't think I'm a weeabo quite so much anymore, but I'm still uh, Japanophile or a Japanist. I don't know how you would call that, but I'm still very much interested in the culture, and the language. And I've been reading a lot, like actual book, going to the library, getting books, reading, as well as looking up stuff on YouTube. I've got several YouTube channels. Um, in my subscription list, either like history stuff about the history of Japan, or expat stuff. And what do I've got on here right now? This guy called Linfamy. It's paused, but his name is Linfamy, and his content is kind of like a mixture of animation and history, but it's kind of like in a cute, cartoony way, and they're very short, bite-sized pieces of information. It's not all history. Some of it is culture, some of it is folklore, and it's pretty cute. But I still am very much interested in Japan. However, after doing my research on just the subject matter and learning more about the real Japan, I've kind of lost my romance about it. And I think it's a place I still would like to visit, but I don't know if I want to live there anymore. I don't know. I've been a little bit disillusioned with seeing bits and pieces of the real Japan, not just the anime. Arigato gozaimasu, very polite and respectful Japan. I've been seeing bits and pieces of the dark side, which we all have a dark side. So I don't know why I'm disillusioned. Um, what else? Things that have changed since shutting down my business, reflecting, things that have changed. I think I want to focus more on three things. Three things that I want to focus on is writing, acting, and not acting in like the typical sense that you would see like on a movie or a show or anything like that, or even community theater. Just like right now, performing. I'm not performing, but I kind of am, because I don't talk like this, and I'm not. Actually, hold on, let me think about it. Let me reflect while I'm reflecting. Sometimes when I get on YouTube, I'm performing. Sometimes when I get on YouTube, it's just me. I think you guys can tell the difference of when I'm doing which, so I'll just leave that at that. But I'm really interested in like the voice acting, um, and creative stuff like that, and writing. I've got to finish these stories. I've got intros to stories, really good stories in notebooks that I just kind of like never went back to. And after being on Scully's House of Thrillers, and he was talking about how he was talking about the stories that he's read, the stories that he has written, and the books that he has published or wants to publish. It was just really inspiring. Like, man, I could do that. Right now, I think I'm more interested and available to do voiceovers, because writing a book is an investment of time, and it's writing a book is a whole nother thing. But I think I want to lean more into that. Charles Gilmore asked me, well, he didn't ask me personally. Charles Gilmore, he's got his channel on here. He left it in one of my comments. What am I passionate about as far as wanting to go into business for myself? And I've been asked that before, and I'm like, I'm passionate about being my own boss. I'm passionate about being an entrepreneur. It's like, not really. But I am passionate about um, performing in some kind of way, and telling a story. So those are the three things that I had that just kind of like came to me. Like, those are the three things that I've always done my whole life, whether I tried to or not. Acting, because I'm kind of a ham. Writing, whether it was getting an A+ on creative story writing assignment in class. Well, for everybody else, it was like a chore. For me, it was like, wow, cool, I get to write this down. So writing is something I've always done, even though I haven't like published anything or produced it publicly. And acting. Did I say that already? I forgot what I said already. Acting, writing, and storytelling. Storytelling. So with my coworkers, sometimes I'll tell them things that have happened to me either at home or out and about, and they tell me all the time the way that I tell stories is like I'm drawing them into, the story and telling them the details and making it exciting and really getting into it. To me, it's just very natural. And that is actually a profession. That is actually a thing. It's called raconteur. Like, when I got into podcasting about 10 years ago, listening, not producing them, when I got into podcasting like 10 years ago, um, I discovered that storytelling was a thing. Like I knew about old griots in Africa and storytelling in other cultures, down through the generations to keep up with the culture's history and the mythology and things like that. But I didn't know currently today in modern times, I did not know it was a thing until I started listening to podcasts about 10 years ago. And I was like, man, I could do that. But even when you're a natural storyteller, it does take some honing of your skills and some coaching to be able to tell a story in a way that is engaging, that's not too long, that's not too personal, because sometimes these stories are personal, real stories, not made up stories. And you don't want to overshare, but you kind of want to be transparent enough where your audience is like really, really engaged with the story. And I'm like, man, I could do that. I'm pretty sure here in the Dallas Fort Worth area there are some storytelling workshops. Got to look into that. But those are the three things that I realized like when it comes to being passionate about something, those are three things that I've always done my whole life. I kind of feel passionate about it. And, well, no, you can't kind of feel passionate about something. You're either passionate or you're not, right? I feel passionate about at least two of those things: the writing, the story, the writing, authoring, book writing, which is physical storytelling instead of verbal storytelling, and the acting. So those things are connected and they can be separate things. And I think that's what I'm going to focus on. So that's what has changed. Instead of me focusing so much on, I want my own business, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to sell these things and make money and be self sufficient. I still want to be able to do that, but I don't feel like that is the way to do it. So, yes, I want to focus more on writing, acting, and storytelling. Something that I naturally do, haven't really done before professionally. There is training that goes into it. I'm reading the notes off my phone again. And I could get, oh yeah, I put on here's a note. I could get professional training or I could just jump into it. Then I was like, oh, how has that worked out for me in the past? Just jumping into something. Well, for business and entrepreneurship, start a business, it was expensive. But I don't think I'd have to spend too much money other than, I guess workshops do cost money. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. My new mentor. I mentioned I mentioned either on an Instagram post or a video, I don't remember, um, that I met somebody. His name is Homer, and he's a coworker of mine. And he's also a former multimillionaire and current author and well-known athlete in the community, like professional boxer and possibly even a celebrity. And I was just like, how is it possible that I work with somebody so cool and never even, knew that you existed? Because we work in different departments. But just that one conversation that I had with him for a couple of hours while I was doing my volunteer duty on the picket line, I was just like, I was floored. Like, I don't get to have those opportunities at work because the mindset is like, we're at work. This is our job. We get paid. Don't worry about anything else. Don't rock the boat. Don't try to do anything else. Just this is good enough, right? And then here I am talking with this guy who's like, yes, I've had several businesses before. I know how to make the money. I know how to this and this and that. And I was like, it was an awesome conversation. As a matter of fact, even though, even though I did not get the 100 views for video 181, where I was asking you guys, please share the video so I can get at least 100 views, so I can kick off this storytelling interview series. Even though I didn't get the 100 views on that, and I'm still not going to do that series. This guy, this guy, I want to interview. Even if I interview him, edit it, and upload it unlisted for my own references, this guy, oh my gosh, he's an older gentleman in his 60s, and he's from the Dallas Fort Worth, Texas area. And his story, man, his personal story, which is in the book that he wrote that may be made into a movie, and his professional story, it's just wow. So I'd really like to talk to him more. And since that initial contact, he has reached out to me and he's like, hey, whenever you want to, we can go out for coffee, whatever, because he told me I enjoyed that conversation so much. I want to pick up where we left off. And I'm like, yay! But wait, okay, cause just wait. Um, so my new mentor. In the past, I have had. Let me back up. I believe in the power of prayer. What does that have to do with mentorship? A lot. Prayer has a lot to do with a lot. I believe in the power of prayer, and I do believe in if you're praying for something and sending, whether you want to believe in sending positive vibes or sending, positive affirmations or just straight up talking to God. I believe when you put that out there and you're really believing, like, you know, this is this is what this is what I want. Lord, please help me get this thing. Or me speaking from a Christian perspective, I don't want to be too vague. I want to be specific to me because this is my story. I'm telling God or asking God, you don't tell God nothing. I'm asking God, God, please put people in my path that can teach me, that can influence me, that can help me be successful. Maybe it won't be my definition of success, but Lord, you know what's in my heart and you know what my desire is. Put people in my life that can help me out, help me figure this business thing out. And so within a couple of weeks, I met somebody else at my job. I don't know if I mentioned him before, but this could have this could have gone two different ways. Not two different ways. This could have gone two different ways. A guy at work was flirting with me. I was ignoring him because I'm not at work for that at all. Plus, I wasn't attracted to him. But I said to myself, you know what? I don't have people beating down my door. Maybe I should stop being so picky. And so I started talking to him, and that's when I discovered all these things about him. That he was a not a professional actor, but he was very active in his church as far as producing church plays, faith-based plays. He was also a published author. He had been to Japan through the military, but he had been to Japan, and I'm like, and we were just having this conversation, and just like left and right, he kept hitting him out the park, touching on all these points that I was just like, that's me, that's me, that's what I like to do, that's what I'm into, that's what I want to do. And then like I actually got like emotional and tearful. I got emotional and tearful at work. It was during the break time, so it's not like I was, in the factory doing my thing and yeah. But I had to take a seat because I'm like, Lord, I've been praying for someone like this to be in my life, and at first, initially, I like tuned him out because what my eyes were taking in wasn't up to my standards. I wasn't attracted to him, but I was like, you know what? Let me open up my heart and see who this person is, not just what the physical is. Let me, see who this person is. And he was well spoken, well educated, well connected. And I was like, wow, Lord, you're just sitting right here in my lap, right? And I got really, really excited. And so we exchanged contact information. And you guys know, maybe you guys don't know, but I've mentioned it before. This is my smartphone. It is so smart that it only works around Wi Fi. This is my phone that I bought through Sprint, and once it got paid off, I turned off the service. So it works as long as I'm around Wi-Fi. I can do all the things that my apps allow it to do, but I cannot receive calls. Um I can't make or receive calls. And so long story short, I have my flip phone, my little flip phone. And usually when people exchange information, it's nowadays it's through smartphones and this and that. And I had just bought a replacement phone for my flip phone, so it still wasn't activated. Long story short, I had his physical phone number, but I couldn't call him. I had to wait till I got home. But when I got home, I said, because I wanted to start to be able to message him through Facebook and things like that. So I look him up on Facebook, and sure enough, he was there on Facebook on the cover of his book right next to his wife. And yeah, I'm like, Had to do a little research, like maybe this is an old picture. It's not that old. It's a year old. And I'm thinking, oh, and I forgot to mention he's a pastor at his church. He's not just involved in his church, he's a pastor at his church. So I'm looking at the date and I'm thinking, okay, this is a picture from 2018. We're in 2019. Do pastors move that fast after divorce? Assuming he's divorced. He's not. So I don't know what kind of games this guy was playing, but I said to myself, you know what, Kenya? Maybe he wasn't flirting. Maybe you saw it as flirting because you're lonely. Maybe you saw it as something else because you're just not used to people approaching you and having these kind of conversations. And I'm like, okay, okay, maybe it wasn't that type of uh, engagement that we had there. But do you know he has yet to really get back with me? I don't think that's what it was. I gave him my phone number, but we actually exchanged emails because I was like, okay, this is the situation. I can email people a lot quicker than I can text because the old flip phone, you got to go through A, B, C, A, you got to go through the numbers, the number letter things so many times before you can do a message. It was a headache. So that's why we exchanged email addresses. And he and I have exchanged emails back and forth because here's the thing when we talked, that particular day at work, he didn't make me any promises, but along with the suave, debonair charm and charisma and all that other stuff he was talking, he alluded to the fact that, yes, I know people that can help you publish a book. Oh, yes, I'm very active with my church play thing, and if you want to get some practice, da 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 da, or if you want to get connected, and it's just like left and right. Oh yes, I know a lawyer who can help you with your copyright, da 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 da, and it was just amazing. It was like I said, I got emotional, and I told him that I said, give me a moment, and I like walked a few paces away from him, and I sat down, and I teared up. I literally teared up at work, and I was like, and I started praying. I was like, Lord, is this the person that you want for me? Is this who I've been praying and praying and praying for you to put people in my life? Did you send this person to me? And so, anyways, he was alluding to all these connections that could very well be true because he is an author, he is military, he is a pastor, da 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 da. But he never outright said, you know, I'm married or anything else. So, anyways, I sent him one or two emails. Oh, this is what he told me. He said, hey, look, if you're really serious about business, I want you to give me your 5 year plan. Give me your 5 year plan. Write it up. Da da da. I've got a 5 year plan. I rewrote it specifically for him. Oh, you like to draw? I draw too. I do da 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 da. Send me one of your drawings. And like he was giving me homework. And so I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, this is the kind of person I need. Somebody to push me in the right direction and motivate me and encourage me. It took me a couple of days to get that 5 year plan, but I actually emailed it to him, and I was expecting him to give me some type of response like, okay, well, I see this is where you're going, this is what you want. Okay, I'm going to forward it to my friend like I told you I would because I've got these connections. He didn't say it like that, but the way the conversation went, it was like, I've got these connections. I just need to know if you're serious or not. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but that relationship, whether it's business or personal, fizzled out. I think we've had 2 email exchanges. He said something like, "Hey, Kenya, how you doing?" And I said, "Hey, brother, so and so. You're a pastor or brother." I wanted to say pastor. I wanted to ask him straight out, "Are you married? Why you didn't tell me you were married?" But I didn't go there. I just was like, I'm not even worried about that part anymore. I just want a business relationship, and it didn't pan out. So he sent me like I sent him these messages, not super long, but I sent him these um, uh, full messages about business stuff, and he would send me back like one liner or one word or a couple word responses. So that didn't work out. So that was the first time meeting my mentor. I was thinking he was either going to be my mentor or my man, and neither one of them worked out. I thought he was gonna be my mentor, my man. Okay, then there was another guy, cause Y'all, I am lonely. I've made a video about it. I'm not gonna harp on it. Don't feel sad for me. Don't feel pity for me. But I am a lonely, woman. The last relationship, serious relationship that I was in, has been 5 years ago, and I am proudly celibate. Yeah, I don't mess around. When I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship, and when I'm not in a relationship, I'm not in any kind of relationship. And so I have been praying lately, like, Lord, please send me, a good man. I do want somebody in my life. Yes, I very much want this business. I want to stay focused on that, but I also want, somebody serious in my life that cares about me. So I'm at the library because my Dymo printer for my eBay business, my Dymo label printer had went on the fritz, and so each time I got an eBay sale, which aren't very many, thankfully for that reason, every time I got an eBay sale, I had to go to the library, print out the label on the paper printer, and tape it to the package. It was so tacky, but it got the job done. And so, anyways, as I'm there one day, I was wearing my success shirt, the success shirt that I designed. Stay undeterred. Oh my goodness, I forgot my own shirt. Stay undeterred. Continue creating. Embrace self-sacrifice. Success. It was an acronym that I came up with on my own. And so while I'm at the library, this guy comes up to me. He kind of does this double take, and he looks at me. I knew he was looking at my shirt, but he did it once, and then he went about his business, and he came back, and he did it twice, and he was like, "Where'd you get that shirt from?" And I was like, "I made it." He's like, "You made that shirt? You came up with that?" I was like, "Yeah." Um, Stay undeterred. He's like, "What is undeterred?" Undeterred means, like you don't get, it's like the opposite of deterred. Detour, deterred. You don't you don't give up when something doesn't go your way. Stay undeterred. So don't be thrown off by, failure. Continue creating, embrace self sacrifice. So that could be like if you know that you've got, a project to do, maybe you don't go out with your friends that week. Maybe you, get up extra early and stay up extra late. Self sacrifice like that, like, not indulging. He was like, I created an entire language based off of acronyms. I was like, what does that mean? And I can't, I wrote down his name, but I'll tell you in a minute. So he said he created an entire in an entire language out of acronyms, and he started talking to me in acronyms. Not how can I say it? Like he was carefully picking his words so that the sentence made sense, but every first letter of the sentence represented the sentence. You know what I mean? You know what an acronym is, right? So, anyways, and he told me about his self, and he told me where he was from. He told me that he knew a particular athlete, famous athlete, because he used to train with him in school. And he told me some other really cool things about himself. I mean, he tooted his horn a little bit. He was a nice looking gentleman. Looked like he was a little bit older than me. I think he said he was 10 years older than me. And well spoken, well dressed. And I was like, wow, I was kind of like surprised. Like, why is this guy interested in me? Because I usually dress, what do they call it? I slum it a lot. I can't think of the word. But I don't dress. I don't dress up. I wear t-shirts and Dickies work pants all the time, whether I'm going to work or not, because that's just me. Anyways, and I was like, why is this man interested in me? And I'm like, oh, Lord, is this your work? And it was a very, very good conversation. The only thing that kept putting me off, that was like not a red flag, but it was just like really annoying, is he kept correcting me. He kept correcting me on things. He was also a Christian. I love it when people can pick out things from the Bible and use them as inspiration and motivation and examples on, righteous ways of living. Not in a Bible thumping way, like the Bible says that or not, but like in a casual, knowledgeable way. So that was a turn on. But he kept correcting things that I was saying the way I was expressing myself. So he said something like, "So what are you looking for in a man?" And I can't remember my exact response, but he corrected it like, "Oh, well, you should be looking for this kind of person and this person, and you should already know this." And I was like, "Okay." I can't think of the things he was saying, but just like little things, like at least 5 different times he corrected either what I said or how I said it or requoted what I said, kind of like telling me what I meant to say. Like that's what he was doing, like either telling me what I meant to say or just it was annoying. And just in that 10-15 minute conversation, just alone, just that 10-15 minute conversation, I said to myself, as handsome as he is, as intelligent as he is, he looks like he's got money, he's got a good head on his shoulder, he's a Christian. I can't deal with anybody. I can't, no, I cannot, I can't, I don't think I could be in a relationship with somebody like that, because you can't really have a dialogue back and forth if somebody keeps stopping you, correcting you, cutting you off, correcting you, or letting you finish but still correcting you. It's kind of like, it was annoying. And so that put me off. But when it came time to exchange phone numbers, you guys know the situation. I'm carrying a smartphone, but it's really a dumb phone because I can't just use it unless I'm around Wi-Fi. So I thought about giving him my phone number, but it's just so natural for me to give people my email address nowadays because I actually check my email a lot more often than I, use my actual phone function. And so I write down on a piece of paper. He says, I'd like to get to know you a little bit better later. I give him my email address, and he looked at it and he was like, "What? You don't trust me? I ain't no I ain't no mass murderer, killer, nothing like that." And I'm thinking to myself, I didn't say you were, but I jokingly said, "You never know these days." But anyways, this is what I feel comfortable doing. I said it in those exact words. This is what I feel comfortable doing, and I handed him on the little scrap of paper my email address, and he looked at it, and he looked at me like, and he walked off. Now he had a computer going on one table, just like I was at a computer making my eBay label. He was doing something else over there. And while we were talking for so long, he did keep walking away to touch his computer so it wouldn't shut off and restart for the next user. So I'm thinking, oh, he's gonna just walk over there, tap the keyboard so his data doesn't go away, and then he'll come back. But I almost knew that he wasn't. He looked at my email address because it wasn't a phone number. He's like, and he walked over there and he sat down and he went to work on his computer. And I sat there with this piece of paper like, did he just blow me off? Because I wanted to give him my email address instead of my phone number, and I specifically said, "This is where my comfort level is. This is what I feel comfortable doing right now." And it wasn't a fake email. We could talk all the time. It's just I didn't. Dude, I just met you in a library, in public library. I don't know you. You tell me who you are and that you know all these celebrities and you look like money, but I don't know you. So this is where my comfort level is. So anyways, I thought he was going to be a mentor as well because he said he was an author. I'm meeting a lot of authors lately. He said he was an author, and the whole acronym thing I thought was pretty cool. So anyways, I say all that to say those were my first 2 instances meeting people that I prayed for. But I want to keep the faith, but I also want to keep my wits about me and just not be led by the first thing that's dropped into my lap. Even though one of my other Christian coworkers, we talk about the Bible all the time, and I won't go there. He's a piece of work. He said something like, "Well, be careful. Don't be too picky. Remember the story about the person in the flood." I'm like, what person, what flood? I kind of remember the story. But he's like, there was a flood and the water was up to the roof and the person was on the roof and they prayed and prayed, "Lord, please send me somebody to save me." And so somebody in a rowboat came by and they were like, "Hey, come on, get in the rowboat. I'm here to help you out." And they were like, "No, I'm waiting for God to save me." And so the person in the rowboat went along, and then pretty soon a helicopter came along and they let down the rope. And they're like, "Come up, climb up. We're here to help you." And they're like, "No, I'm waiting for God to save me. And so the helicopter went off, and so the waters rose, and the person drowned. And then when he got to heaven, he, asked God, hey, why didn't you save me? And, God was like, I sent you this, and this. So, anyways, my coworker was telling me, like, when people are coming in your life, don't disregard them because it doesn't come in the form that you think it should. And so I'm trying to keep a balanced mind about this. But those were my first two strikes. The guy in the library, and then my first coworker. But I don't think this is going to be anything like that. I don't think this is going to be anything like that. One, because the first two guys were flirting with me. This guy is not flirting with me at all. Uh, the other two guys, they were kind of talking about themselves in a way that was kind of like to build themselves up to make themselves look really important. This guy, it was more like matter of factly, like, I'm an old man. This is my life story. These are the things that I've lived through, and that's why I wrote a book and da 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 da. And I just felt it was just like a natural conversation where it didn't sound like he was trying to boast. And then also he has reached out to me. He has reached out to me. He gave me so much good advice and motivation about how to go about finding a mentor and just different things about business. And now he's reaching out to me. Do you know how often that happens? Usually you have to go through a lot to track down a mentor. People that are successful with their business, they don't have time just to be doling out free information to people. They've got a business to run, and if they're going to give it to you, they're probably going to want to be compensated in some way. So, anyways, this guy reached out to me, and I don't know. It just feels different this time. Woo, how long have I been going? I feel like I've been going on and on and on. And again, for people who are in the chat room, I'm not ignoring you, but I am trying to stay focused. So I don't even have the screen popped up where I can see YouTube right now. I've just got a white screen up for the light, and I just want to go through my notes and just talk about reflecting on how I feel since shutting down my business. I mean, I don't know, should I even keep my name as 40 Entrepreneur Drive since I'm not an entrepreneur anymore? Technically, I am because I still have my eBay store. So, okay, that's that. But yeah, I will acknowledge you. Anybody who's been in here, I'll acknowledge you at the end. But right now, I'm trying to stay focused. So please don't take it to heart that I'm not talking to you in the chat. If anybody's in here, it's 2 in the morning, so I don't know if anybody will be. Let's see. What have I learned about What have I learned about being successful that I haven't done before? Planning. Planning is key. Um, Planning is key. Planning videos. I know there's a lot of people that come on here and they just come on here like I did just now. Planning your live streams. For their live streams that I've been in that are like super polished and like looks really good, especially when they have the special effects and all that other stuff, and the background looks nice and clean and tidy and whatever. That stuff is planned out. That's not just happenstance. That stuff is planned out. And I think a lot of my failure has been because of poor planning. And we all know how that goes. Piss poor planning, blah, 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 performance. Anyways, I have not been very much with planning. I've been planning in my book, like things that I want to do. But when I get ready to do it, I had not been doing the step by step, like, okay, this is what I want the outcome to be, and this is what I need to do to get there. Like my business plan, I had a business plan, um, with my business, my online business. You're supposed to do a business plan and then do market research and then do some other stuff. I didn't do all of that stuff. I did the logo, I did the business cards, I bought some products, but I didn't really do any research and planning as to like, okay, how am I going to sell this? Who am I going to sell it to? I failed mostly because I did not plan. Yeah, I failed with my business mostly because I didn't plan. I had great ideas. I had tons of ideas, and I was just jumping on these ideas left and right. Just I'm the kind of person, I can be a bit impulsive, just a little, just a wee bit. I took a lot of time to write down ideas, but I didn't take a lot of time to plan my action, to actually have my actions planned out. And so I was jumping in there, spending money, buying subscriptions, buying products, buying labels, buying packaging, and I was doing a lot of stuff, but it really wasn't properly planned out. And if you don't want to fail in business, don't do what I did. Plan. Um, and that's another really good point that Mr. Sargent was making with me that night that we were talking on the picket line. Is planning, planning. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. You know what I realized after watching my live stream last time? I do this a lot. And I gotta stop that because that's probably really annoying in you guys' ear. In between ideas, I'm like, clicking my tongue and clearing my throat. Now that I'm aware of that, I'm going to try my best not to do it anymore. So I apologize. But I noticed that the other day. I guess because my mouth is getting dry, but I will try not to do that. Planning is the key, whether it's planning my videos, planning my live streams, which is kind of what I'm doing now. I plan this out. That's why I'm reading from it because I wanted to stay on task. I know I'm going to go off on tangents, but I wanted to have the way that it was coming out in my mind. I wanted it to be, on paper and be presented to you guys. So this is the planning that I'm talking about. Planning what you're going to wear. I have no good clothes. You guys have seen all of my clothes in my wardrobe. From if you've watched 10 of my videos, you've probably seen all the clothes that I have. I'm not a clothes junkie. I hate shopping. Um, but again, I complain about how if you read between the lines with what I've said recently and in the past, I know that I do not compare to some of the successful YouTubers, small YouTubers, but still successful and growing YouTubers. I don't compare to them, and a lot of it has to do with the look, but I don't put in effort either. So I can't really cry and complain about it. But planning what you wear and planning your background, things like that, all of that has to look effortless. It has to look like you didn't even try, but you tried. That's what this whole social media thing is about. It's about presenting yourself in the best light, in the best way, so that when people see you, they don't know what you did before you hit record or before you hit go live. They just see the end product, and that's the magic of it. Just that end product. So all that takes planning. That's what I've learned. Making it look effortless. And I want to be more intentional about my creations instead of just trying to keep up with the Joneses. Yeah, I've been going to sleep at a normal time. Why did I put that on here? I guess I just want to talk about my sleep. Okay, so I've been on strike for 2 weeks now at my job that will remain unnamed, my employer that will remain unnamed. And since I have been on the midnight graveyard shift for almost all of the 19 years I've been there, um, that's my norm. Sleeping at in the day and working at night is my norm. But since being off of work, like a switch, just flip back to a normal sleep schedule, and that actually works out for me. I really like it. It was a struggle for me to go into the picket line that night because they, instead of scheduling me in the day like they did the previous week, they scheduled me at night from like 10 p.m. to 2 in the morning, which if you're not used to doing that, you just kind of it was a struggle. But I'm going back to sleep at a normal time since being off of work, and I feel great. Um, I know that I would much rather keep a consistent sleep cycle that is more in line with my circadian rhythms. And I think humans are just not meant to be up all night. Even if you're a night owl, you're going to sleep at some part of the night. Even if you like to, go to sleep late and sleep in, most people naturally sleep at night. That's natural. It's what our circadian rhythms require of us to function properly. It regulates our hormones different. It releases cortisol when you don't sleep at proper times or don't get enough sleep, which is stress inducing. Matter of fact, m- more people. I'm doing that smacking thing again. I just realized. I'm sorry. Of all the people that I work with, People that have the most health issues are the people who have been on the night shift for the longest. uh, at my place of work, the more time you have on the job, the more seniority you have, you can pick which shift. And most people do pick the daytime shift, unless they have children. Then working at night is just it's better because you can be working while your children are sleeping. Then you can be at home available, whether they're at school or at home. But some people have chosen to stay on the night shift for a long periods of time, and there are more instances of people with just weird. I'm not talking about like arthritis and bad feet and bad shirt. I'm just talking about like health issues, immune system issues from being on the night shift for so long. There are a lot of people with cancer at my job that I did not realize. Like yeah, there's quite a few people that are survivors and dealing with or having treatment right now for cancer. And one of the ladies that she was off work for a while, and when she came back, I didn't know what was going on, but she told me, she's like, yeah, I'm fighting breast cancer, and thank God they took what they took. But my doctor told me I probably need to get off third shift because third shift really increases your chances of having health related issues. And if you have them already, it just takes a toll on your immune system. And man, that was really some deep and sad information that I didn't realize I had so many sick people at my job with issues like that. And so but I do know that lack of sleep and improper sleep times do affect depression. So even though I didn't know about it for the physical health stuff, I definitely knew about it from the mental health stuff. Not getting enough sleep can make you have anxiety issues and can make you have depression issues. I don't know about anything else on the mental health scale, how it affects that, but I know that I want to go back to sleeping a normal, um, when the sun goes down, I go to sleep. When the sun goes up, I'm up type of sleep schedule. And I know that having my own business and working for myself would accomplish that. I just don't think I'm gonna be able to do that right now. So I have to be okay with that. When I go back to work, I'll have to find a way to manage until I'm able to support myself outside of the job. Although I am actually considering, okay, still wanting to quit. So I've quit my job. No, I've quit my business. I still want to quit my job. That hasn't changed at all. However, having the conversation with my new mentor, I'm claiming it. I'm claiming it this time. He is my new mentor. After having the conversation with my new mentor the other night, he told me something remarkable. Even though he has been a multi-millionaire and has owned businesses and run businesses and knows how to make money, um, because of his current situation or the things that have happened, he's working with me, and he says he's planning on staying there, and that shocked me. I'm like, wait a minute. Once you know how to make money, you can get back out there and do it again. He's like, yeah, you're right, but I'm in my 60s now because of some choices and some things that have happened. I'm an old man starting from scratch, and um, right now working where we're working, it's much more easier for me to work a little overtime and save. And that's one of the things he told me. He's like, you can save yourself into being rich, you can't spend yourself into being rich. And that's when we were talking about it takes money to make money. He was like, oh, no, it doesn't. I was like, what? It was a good conversation. But he says he is planning on not retiring from there, but working there until he can't work anymore. Because he says, I do want to build that level of wealth again that I used to have, but I'm going to do it this way through just working, saving, and investing. Because he not only is he very familiar with running businesses, but he's familiar with investing. That reminds me, I have to ask him about that mutual fund he was telling me about. He didn't give me that name. So yeah, he was like, yeah, I'm planning on working here, and just work. He's like, and you should do the same thing. I'm thinking, dude, we're talking about running businesses. I just told you that I want out of this joint. I want to get out of here. I want to run my own business. He's like, you can do that, but you can also stay here too. And I just don't want to. Just the atmosphere, the way we're treated, the monotony of it all, the people, mostly the people, the attitudes and personalities and mindset of the people in there is very draining. and the mandatory overtime. I'm like, I want out of here. He's like, yeah, I hear you, I hear you. But just remember what I told you. You can save your way into wealth. You cannot spend your way into wealth. And so I'm actually considering the idea, not planning on doing it, but I'm considering the idea of staying until retirement, which kind of is the whole idea of this channel was I'm going to quit my job and work for myself, and this is how I'm going to do it. And now, within the past 48 hours, I have turned that on its head. And now I don't have a business anymore, and I'm thinking about, just thinking, considering the idea of staying where I'm working and just saving. I just don't want to spend that much more time there. All that mandatory overtime, it's got to stop. While we're on strike, I really hope they work out the details on that, because it's not healthy physically working that often without not having downtime to rest your body. It's not healthy mentally, psychologically. It's not healthy for your relationships with your family, with your loved ones. It's not healthy at all to be working that much. Oh, it's just not healthy. I did it again. Stop smacking, stop smacking. It surprised me when he told me he wanted to stay until past retirement. And so that makes me wonder, what can I do to make myself be more accepting of this idea without thinking of my job as a prison? Because I do think of it as a prison. It's a prison where I get paid, but the word, the term wage slave, feels real to me a lot. I want to work. It's not that I'm lazy. I want to work. I just don't want to work that much under those strict rules. I want to be able to make money and enjoy my time with my family and just by myself. So I've got to figure out. I've got talking about changing mindsets. A lot of people have been encouraging me to stick with the business, and change my mindset. I watch a lot of motivational stuff on YouTube too about changing your mindset as far as making money, as far as getting your startup off the ground, as far as sticking with your business until you have your breakthrough. Changing your mindset, money mindset. I need to focus on my mindset with staying at my job. That sounds pretty counterintuitive and counterproductive, but I need to work on my mindset with being able to tolerate my work atmosphere, because I'm not in a position to walk away right now. I do not have a degree, certificate, diploma, or skill set that I can uh, find another job that can maintain my livelihood, my lifestyle, which is pretty humble. I mean, look, I'm in my closet. I'm in my closet with some moving blankets around me. I'm not in a professional studio. I'm not living the high life. I'm not living high off the hog at all. I'm pretty humble with my clothes and the things that I want in my life. Really, the only thing I really like in life that is my luxury, the only thing that I really enjoy in life to spend money on is food. I'm a foodie. That's it. The hair and nails, I could care less about. The shoes and clothes is not my thing. I would like my home to look nice. Everybody's home is their castle, so I want my home to look nice, but I don't need like designer curtains and marble floors and da da da. I want it to be nice and comfortable. So I say that to say, there is a certain level of lifestyle, livelihood that I'm trying to maintain, but it's not all that. And so until I can do that on my own, I have to stay where I'm at, and I've got to change this mindset so where when it's time for me to go in, I don't get a pain in my stomach, a knot in my stomach. I don't get tightness in my chest, and so that the frequent headaches won't keep popping up in the migraines. I go in with a positive attitude. I go in, you know, I do positive affirmations, but once I get there, all that stuff goes out the window because I'm actually in the belly of the beast at that moment. I pray at work. I have my headphones on and I watch my YouTube videos. Well, I can't watch at work, but I have them on and listen to my music. I try to I try to stay upbeat and focus while I'm there, but it's hard. Factory life is hard. So yeah, those are my reflections, people. Those are my reflections on quitting the business and staying at the job. And my mentor, I'm really excited about future meetings with Mr. Sargent, and I feel like I'm going to be able to learn a whole lot from him. A whole lot. I mean, he seems like a very kind person, period. A very kind and genuine person. And that really resonated with me when I was talking to him. It's really funny. It's really funny. I like to think of myself as an open minded person, right? Without judging people, even though I always feel like people are judging me. I like to think of myself as an open minded person, but I got my prejudices. So, anyways, I'm on a picket line. I'm out there with my sign. I see this older white gentleman with a buzz cut. He looks like a old. He looks like an old like military guy, like a no nonsense kind of military guy, and I don't know why, but he looked like he would choose your words carefully, Kenya. He didn't look like he was gonna be nice to me. He didn't look like he was gonna be nice, and he didn't look like he was gonna be nice to me. But looks can be deceiving. He's a very sweet person, very open and honest person, and a very loving person, and more tolerant than I gave him credit for. And I'm really happy that I was able to throw away those preconceptions that I had of him. Because at first I wasn't gonna say anything to it's a bunch of us out there on the picket line, and I wasn't talking to anybody anyways because I really don't like people at my work. From previous experiences, it's just better not to talk. I'll make a whole nother video about that if y'all want me to, but I've just had so many negative experiences at work that I just don't deal with them anymore. So I had my earbuds in. I talked to one lady that I was familiar with, and then I seen him, and we kept catching each other's eye, and finally I took my earphones out, and we made small talk, and I'm glad that I did because I would not have met such a cool person. And if our business relationship does not take off, I'm happy for those moments, those couple of hours that I talked to him. Those couple of hours that I talked to him, I learned about I learned some local flavor from him about the history of the area and just different. Oh man, awesome guy. I mentioned it before in the other video that I recorded and uploaded, and I'll mention it again. Oh, hold on, let me look it up for you guys to check out his book. His name, you can Google him as well. His name is Homer Sargent. It should still be in my history. You can look him up as Homer Sargent Boxer, or you can look him up as Homer Sargent. What's the name of the doggone book? There we go. Homer Sargent, Real Love, Deep in the Heart of Texas, a true love story. Sometimes you have to fight for it. And like I said, the man is a former professional athlete boxer. This is what the book looks like if you look up on Amazon. And see, that's how you spell the name in case you want to type it in. Homer Sargent. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to this book. It doesn't have an audio book version yet, and thinking about myself, but also thinking about him. We talked about voiceovers as well, and he's got one of those deep, resonating voices that I was like, you should read your book. If you're not gonna pay somebody else to do your voiceover, you should read your own book because he's got one of those. What's the guy that used to do the Quaker Oats commercial? You know who I'm talking about. He's an actor, but he's also known for doing the two different commercials. You should eat your Quaker Oats, and the other one about I got diabetes, and that's why I take such and such. Anyways, you guys know who I'm talking about, right? Let me look it up. And then I'm gonna get off of here. Oh, my phone died. I'm glad I showed you the picture before my phone died. That phone is so old it overheats a lot and the battery goes down really fast. Quaker Oats commercial guy. He doesn't. By the way, the gentleman I'm talking about doesn't look like him. Wilford Brimley. Wilford Brimley. He doesn't look anything like him, but he's got that kind of deep, booming voice like him. So, anyways, I'm excited. I'm also excited to go to bed because it's 2:30 in the morning, Fort Worth, Texas Standard Central Time, and like I said, since being off of work, I've flipped back into a normal sleeping schedule, and it's good. It's good. Besides, I got to get up in the morning and take my daughter to school. Oh, I have to acknowledge anybody who came into the room because I wasn't really expecting anybody to. Look at all these people. Oh my goodness. I didn't expect anybody to be in here. I really didn't. Because I was really just talking to myself. Scully's House of Thrillers. You're still up? I thought, oh yeah, I think you're in another country, right? I didn't expect you to be here, but thank you so much for visiting. Well, I was just talking about you. Your ears must have been burning, huh? Um, Finley River Kennels, my homeboy, my mother from another mother. Let's see. Sticky Northside. That name sounds familiar. Okay, you were in the live stream with me too. Okay, so yeah, for those of you who are like, she's not looking at the chat box. Um, I'm the type of person where if I don't stay focused, I will be all over the place. And this live stream that has been an hour and 6 minutes would be like 2 hours, and I'd be just talking rubbish. And then when I was 3 years old, I fell and scraped my knee and got a boo boo. I'd just be all over the place. It's not that I was ignoring you guys. I had the screen so that I couldn't see the chat room. I had to read from my notes. Good thing I did because my phone died. And yeah, that's that. So yeah, thank you so much. Scully's House of Thrillers says, hey, you. These are relevant points. I've written 3 screenplays as well. I did not know that. So now you guys can check him out for that too. Jeff from Finley River Kiddo says, hello, Kenya. I left your thumbs up and shared you out. Thank you so much. That is very cool of you. Thank you, brother. Hello, Scully. Everyone, thumbs up the live stream and share it out. Sis, the sound is low. Oh, I'm sorry that the sound is low. You know what? I can't show you because everything is hooked up. I got a preamp. Under the table, and see if I turn up the gain. Oh, the gain was all the way down. No wonder. No wonder. I got this whole fancy microphone kit with the speaker, not the speaker, with the microphone and the headphones and a preamp, which is this thing here, and with all the gadgets and knobs and stuff, you gotta set it a certain way for your voice to be picked up. But since this is specifically, I'm going to be using this specifically for voiceovers. It's set a certain way so that I don't come off as really loud. So I apologize for the audio being low. I didn't expect anybody to be in here. I just wanted this to be up for a replay. But anyways, since the sound is low, had to drop in and show you some love. Thank you, Sticky Northside. Bigs likes. 420 says Finley cheers. Love you. What's up and what's up? That's what's up. That is the end of this live stream. I came on to talk about, how I feel about shutting down my business. And I still feel pretty good. I really do. I don't think I'm cut out for retail. That's all right. I take that back. I worked retail once. But with all the jobs I've had, I've worked fast food, I've worked security, I've worked in the factory, I've worked in another factory, I've done lots of stuff, but retail has never been my thing. So I tried, but I feel good. After shutting down my business, I feel good about myself. I feel good about my decision. I feel like this right here, this beautiful thing here. I feel much more comfortable doing something like this than trying to sell something. Even though I liked my product, I guess my product didn't like me. But it's all good. It's all good. Thank you guys so much. And thank you for that share. I appreciate that. So many opportunities. And I'm going to end it on this note. I told you guys before 40 Entrepreneur Drive was created when I turned 40 years old last year. And I said to myself, I want to do something for myself before I get too old. And I still sometimes feel like I'm 41 now. I still feel like it's too late. It's too late. All my opportunities are gone. No, it's not true. Yes, some doors have closed. That's a reality. But so many doors are still open and can be open. And those are the doors that I'm going to be knocking on and trying to open up myself. So for now, the business is gone, but I'm still here. And hopefully, you guys will hear more from me. I'm going to try to come back on here, probably live streaming more just as updates and talking about where I'm going in the direction of the whole voice acting thing. If you all know people, if you guys have connections, hook a sister up. Because I know one thing with any success, a lot of the success is based off of connections. It's not necessarily what you know, it's who you know. And I don't know anybody. So let me know who you know, and then I'll know what to know. Have a good night if you are where it's night. Have a good morning if you are where it's morning. And I will see you, beautiful people, on the next round. I am logging out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.